Have you ever stopped to wonder, where do the people of Europe truly come from? Not just from a historical standpoint, but from a biblical one. Europe is a land of breathtaking cultures, languages, and nations. But beyond the history books and ancient empires lies something deeper, a thread woven through the sacred pages of Scripture. What if the Bible holds the forgotten genealogies that trace the roots of modern European nations? In this episode, we'll journey back to the sons of Noah, to the ancient bloodlines scattered after the Tower of Babel, and uncover the astonishing connections between biblical names and European people groups. Stay with us. This may challenge what you thought you knew about history and identity. Europe encompasses many distinct countries such as Germany, Poland, Austria, Hungary, Italy, France, Romania, and more. Interestingly, did you know that biblical texts provide details about the ancestral lineage of certain European groups? The book of Genesis, particularly in chapter 10, highlights the forebears of some European populations. Scriptural texts offer interpretations rich in symbolism, geography, and the lineage of various historical figures and groups. Several European communities are explicitly named within these sacred texts, especially Greeks and Macedonians, who trace their lineage directly back to one of Japheth's sons. Thus, these records offer clarity about the progenitor of many European populations. Specifically, Javan, a son of Japheth, is traditionally acknowledged as the ancestor of the Greeks. From this detail, scholars and ancient genealogical records, along with interpretations from Jewish tradition and other Semitic perspectives, strongly suggest Japheth, Noah's son, as the foundational ancestor of the European people. The name Japheth itself conveys meanings such as beautiful, fair, expansion, or multiplication. In biblical terminology, European peoples are often referred to as Japhetic, or descendants of Japheth. Likewise, linguists classify many European languages, including English, German, Russian, Ukrainian, and others, as part of the Japhetic language family, directly linking these languages to their biblical forefather. Both the Book of Genesis and the Book of Chronicles document Japheth's family tree, naming his 7 sons and subsequent grandsons. By studying these names and lineages, we can unravel the historical roots of Europe's ancient inhabitants. Historically, the Israelites referred to Europeans as Javites or Javanites, specifically associating them with the Greek region as descendants of Javan. Genesis lists Japheth's offspring as Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. Additionally, it identifies the sons of Gomer as Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarma, and lists Javan's sons as Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. The biblical association of Ashkenaz with the Germanic peoples presents a fascinating historical perspective that still resonates within Jewish tradition today. Ashkenazi Jews often use the term Ashkenazic to describe regions such as Germany and other areas traditionally inhabited by Germanic groups, reflecting the historical view that Ashkenaz, a descendant from biblical lineage, is the forefather of these peoples. Besides Ashkenaz, another intriguing biblical figure is Riphath. Ancient interpretations, widely accepted by Irish traditions, which trace their lineage directly back to the Celts, identify Riphath as the original ancestor of Celtic communities. Riphath, the son of Gomer and grandson of Japheth, thus connects directly to the Celtic tribes, widely dispersed throughout Europe. Beyond Riphath's lineage, other descendants of Japheth are associated with various European nations or groups with European genetic ties. For instance, the biblical figure Madai, recognized as one of Japheth's sons, is linked to peoples who inhabited regions around ancient Iran, specifically the Aryan or Iranian populations. Historically, the Medes mentioned in biblical texts correlate closely with the Persian peoples. Noticeably, the terms Mede and Madai are linguistically similar, underscoring their historical connection. Madai is considered the progenitor of several groups, including the Medes and Parthians, along with numerous other ancient Persian populations who trace their lineage back to him. Genesis 10:2 also brings attention to Meshech and Tubal, identified as ancestors of various Slavic peoples, including Russians and Ukrainians. Scholarly consensus on biblical genealogies often identifies Russia and Ukraine with the lands associated with Gomer and Magog, directly connecting these nations historically to Tubal and Meshech. Understanding these genealogical connections is crucial, particularly in interpreting apocalyptic prophecies described in biblical texts like the Book of Revelation, as well as Old Testament writings such as Daniel, Ezekiel, and Isaiah. Recognizing each group's ancestral background, like Magog, Tubal, and Meshech, as forebears of the Slavic nations and Ashkenaz as ancestor to the Germanic peoples, provides important historical clarity, ensuring we distinguish clearly between these culturally and linguistically distinct groups. We have explored the genealogical links connecting several groups of European peoples who share a common ancestry. Another significant biblical figure is Tiras, often identified as the ancestor of the Italian populations through his association with the Etruscans. These ancient Etruscans were integral to the development of early Italian civilizations. Notably, the Romans descended from these Etruscans and other groups related to Japheth. Javan, another son of Japheth, is widely recognized as the forebear of Greek communities and other culturally connected groups. It is noteworthy that the names of Japheth's descendants have linguistic resemblances. Although variations naturally occur due to Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic languages, these similarities echo back to the biblical event at Babel, where the multiplicity of languages originated as a consequence of humanity's disobedience. Biblical tradition speaks of an original unified language called Adamite, which supposedly was the language of the first humans, descendants of Adam and Eve. Today, our world exhibits extraordinary linguistic diversity, with thousands of languages, each having its distinct history and evolution. For instance, modern Greek, spoken currently in Greece, is a derivative of ancient Greek, tracing back thousands of years to classical antiquity. Over centuries, Greek has continuously evolved in vocabulary and structure, resulting in its contemporary form. One of Javan's sons, Elisha, is traditionally recognized as the ancestor of the Greeks or Hellenic peoples. The linguistic connection between the name Elisha and Helen is clear in English, Hebrew, and particularly in the Greek language itself. Another intriguing descendant of Javan is Tarshish, frequently referenced in biblical texts. Tarshish is recognized as the patriarch of the Tarshishians, who were among the earliest settlers of the Iberian Peninsula. Today's Portuguese and Spanish populations trace their lineage back to Tarshish, although their ancestry also includes other Japhetic and Semitic influences. Tarshish is explicitly described as a son of Javan and thus a grandson of Japheth. Additionally, Kittim, another son of Javan, is historically linked to the island of Cyprus, making the Cypriots descendants of Kittim. Lastly, Javan's fourth son, Dodanim, has been debated historically due to possible transcription errors, suggesting he might actually be Rodanim or Dardanim. Regardless, he is regarded as the progenitor of the Dardanoi, a prominent ancient Trojan group. In the end, the roots of Europe stretch far deeper than most realize, reaching all the way back to Japheth, the son of Noah. Through the pages of Scripture, we uncover that many of today's European peoples are, in fact, descendants of this ancient biblical lineage known as the Japhetic peoples. It's a powerful reminder that the Bible isn't just a book of faith, it's also a book of history, identity, and truth. If this insight stirred your curiosity or challenged your understanding, let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you found value in this video, please give it a like, share it with someone else searching for truth, and don't forget to subscribe to Hope Unshaken so you never miss another revelation.